Hello, welcome to this update for the US and Canada. So we have some big systems going on. There's still this big one in British Columbia and some parts of Western Canada. We found it heavy snow and heavy rain, even southern Alaska there. So I think this is the biggest system as of now. Both models shows a lot of heavy snow today, those mountains of British Columbia, and very heavy rain on the low-lying areas on the coast. So please be careful there. That heavy snow it's already happening, and the European model just shows the snow getting heavier throughout tonight and getting better tomorrow a little bit. So please be aware of those areas. I think this is the main threat for now. There's the other systems in the US. So today there's those marginal risk of severe weather. We have in New Mexico, parts of Oklahoma Panhandle, in Texas and Colorado, another marginal in Arizona, parts of Colorado too, and Utah and New Mexico. So let's see, the tornado threat is 2% in those both areas. So 2% tornado threat in those both areas. Be aware in Arizona and New Mexico. Wind threat 5% in all those areas, and hail threat just 5% in New Mexico. So be aware. Isolated severe hail, damaging gusts, and a tornado or two will be possible this afternoon and evening, parts of southern Rockies and southern High Plains. Isolated threat for severe storms locally developed in northern Arizona into southwestern Colorado. So be aware. Have some alerts today there available. So let's see, tomorrow, Saturday, there's still a marginal in New Mexico and Texas. 2% tornado again tomorrow, wind 5, and hail a bigger 5. So be aware tomorrow as well. Strong to severe storms possible in parts of southern High Plains Saturday into Saturday night. Large hail is the primary threat. Isolated severe winds and tornado may also occur, the strongest storms. So be careful Saturday. Sunday, there's still a marginal risk in New Mexico, so 5% probabilistic. Isolated strong to severe storms possible in eastern New Mexico on Sunday. So be aware in all of those areas this next happens. Not only the severe storm area, but like the general thunderstorm areas too. In parts of Florida, southern Florida, storm or two. Some critical fire probabilities today, parts of California, and yeah, so there's a very small critical there in southern California, in those mountains near Los Angeles, and elevated around it. There's another elevated central northern California, so be aware in those areas. Let's basically see what's happening. Critical fire weather conditions are possible this afternoon and overnight. Parts of southern California coast, elevated fire conditions possible along western slope, Sacramento Valley, northern California. So be aware, some low relative humidity, some slightly gusty winds, and dry conditions might promote some fire threat there. Day 2, tomorrow still shows a very small elevated near between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles, some areas there. So be aware. So the weather map today shows a lot of snow and mixed precipitation throughout the western US. Showing is highlighting some areas of heavy snow, Wyoming, Montana, northern Utah, and some areas of heavy snow possible. Showing day 2, heavy snow in Colorado, Wyoming possible, and show like snow, just snow in the white there. This is the first time this appeared in this graph for a long time. So shows potential more snow near Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. More rain, still some heavy snow, and thus heavy rain flash flooding possible. And day 3, still some heavy rain western Colorado, more mixed precipitation near Washington, British Columbia, and parts of Montana, and still like some storms in the general south along Texas, Florida, and more rain in the north. So let's see, that's day 3. Quality of precipitation shows more in New Mexico and Colorado today there, so be aware. Shows some bigger amounts in northern Washington, but the worst will be further north into British Columbia, some very big amounts there, and shows, yeah, maybe some rain southernmost Florida and the Keys, and day 2 shows some bigger amounts in New Mexico, potentially some 2.5-3 inches. Shows more in Washington still, more in Florida, eastern Florida, some showers. Day 3, more in the northwest, in parts of the plains too. Day 4, next Tuesday, a little bit on the plains still, but more on the north. Day 5 shows more on the north Midwest, and day 6 kind of quiet, day 7 on the west coast to watch again. Day 1 through 7 shows more than 5 inches in New Mexico and close to 7 inches in Washington, so be aware. Excessive rainfall just a marginal today from Utah to New Mexico and Arizona, parts of Colorado. Day 2, that's big slight risk in New Mexico there, and a marginal all the way into Colorado, Kansas, some areas of Texas, and shows the marginal in Washington tomorrow. Day 3, still marginal around the southern high plains. Day 4, wait, doesn't show anything crazy, nor day 5. Snowfall probability, this is not the accumulations, the probability shows some very high probabilities, southern Colorado, parts of Utah, Wyoming, and northern Arizona, some higher probabilities, and up there in Canada. Day 2 shows some higher probabilities in Colorado too on Saturday. Day 7 still some slight probabilities in Colorado. Then day 4 shows some slight probabilities near Montana, Idaho, parts of Washington, and day 5 nothing. So be aware. There's the snow probability of heavy snow. A big portion of the Rockies there. So be aware in Colorado, Utah, some snow in Wyoming, Washington, and it's very heavy up there in parts of British Columbia near Alberta. So be aware. This is Saturday, like day 1, yeah. Ending, so yeah, this is ending Sunday. Shows more in southern Colorado and up north in Canada. Until later on Sunday. On Monday, still some in Colorado there. Yeah, so be aware of that snow. There's like, where is it? The 48-hour snowfall until like Saturday, until this is Sunday. Until Sunday shows very heavy in southwestern Colorado there. Some in Arizona, parts of New Mexico, northern New Mexico, and Utah. Some in Wyoming and some in Washington. So yeah, be aware in those areas. And the 24-hour max wind gusts just for Friday, today this until Saturday noon, at noon I think. So let's see if this loads. Shows some very high winds this next 24 hours in northern Montana, potentially some 60 or more mile per hour gusts, southern Arizona and New Mexico, some higher gusts too, parts of California, Sierra Nevada, some specific areas there. So be aware. Florida's a little bit windier than the normal too, and yeah, be aware. Now, day 1 maximum temperatures shows very low on the west. Some May is in Texas and Florida still, and tonight into tomorrow shows some 20s Fahrenheit in Wyoming, some 30s, some also like 27, 26. Might be very low temperature, like 18 Fahrenheit in parts of Nevada. So be aware of the cold there. Stay warm. For Saturday afternoon, the maximum temperature shows still kind of low in the Rockies on the west. Some is in southern Texas and Florida still, even parts of southern California, and even Sacramento Valley. So yeah, be aware. And from Saturday night into Sunday morning shows here shows very cold still, some 40s and 30s, and some 20s in the higher mountains there. So be aware. Even Arizona, some colder temperatures, some areas. So be aware. This, and then Sunday afternoon shows more. The maximum temperature Sunday afternoon still very cold in the Rockies, some 30s, but some 80s in the south and southeast. Even Minnesota, some low 80s in some areas. Sunday night to Monday, still very cold in the southern Rockies, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada, still California, Wyoming, very cold in Arizona, but especially Colorado, some very low temperatures there in the Rockies, so be aware. Monday afternoon, some 70s and 80s in the Midwest, parts of the plains, so some 60s in the north, and some 80s, southern Texas and Florida, some higher 80s. Day 4 minimum for Monday to Tuesday, still some colder temperatures across the west, especially at night and early morning. The high elevation, some 30s, 20s Fahrenheit, and like day 5 during the day. Let's see when is this Tuesday afternoon. Show some 90s again in Southern California, Southern Arizona, some 92 in Texas, some 80s in Oklahoma. So yeah, be aware. Day 5 from Tuesday night to Wednesday shows very cold temperatures northern Montana, northern North Dakota, some 20s in North Dakota, northern Minnesota. So generally colder across the north later next week. And in the Rockies still very cold in the Intermountain West Wednesday afternoon still shows like some 97 Southern California and Arizona, 90s in Texas and in Florida too, so be aware. And shows colder in the northern Midwest from Wednesday night to Thursday in the northern plains there, in northern US, and along the Rockies still cold there on Thursday morning. And Thursday afternoon, let's see, still shows like some 98 in southern Arizona, some 90s in Texas, some 80s in the south. So yeah, be aware in those areas. So let's see here. There's the warnings, some wind warnings, northern Montana today, some blowing dust advisories and wind advisories there in California, Utah, and some areas. Red flag warnings in California, flood watches in New Mexico, winter storm warnings across Utah, Colorado, winter weather advisories in Wyoming, some frost advisories still across New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, some even small freeze warning, some freeze warnings in southern Arizona, Wyoming, and Idaho, and some other areas. So be aware there. These warnings change all the time. But yeah, northern Alaska has a blizzard warning. Northeasternmost Alaska, winter storm watch for central Alaska. So probably something coming, and show some like some statements in western Alaska there. Maybe like some coastal flood watch in western Alaska. So there might be like a big system coming from Russia there with a lot of gusty wind, snow, and everything. So let's see, coastal flood advisories in Hawaii. So yeah, be aware. In Canada, we have those warnings in British Columbia for all that heavy snow and heavy rain there. Wind warnings in Nunavut and Quebec, and some other stuff in British Columbia. So rainfall warnings, wind warnings, British Columbia, wind warnings, rainfall, and snowfall warnings there. Northwestern Territories, some snowfall warnings in those locations. Nunavut, blizzard, and winter storm warnings. These warnings don't last forever. So if you like click here, you can see the information how you will be affected and until it when it lasts for. If I go over every single one, this video will be gigantic. So please check this link on the description and stay safe there. Warnings, some special weather statements in a part of Nunavut for some snow, and yeah, be aware those areas. So let's see, potential like North America here. So chart like precipitation total. So the rainfall accumulation till next Tuesday, she's showing those big amounts in New Mexico there, some 5 inches or more depending on the model, some 5-7 inches near like British Columbia, some parts of the Northwest. Shows in Alaska more precipitation there. That's because of some other systems. So let's see if there's maybe bear snowfall in this other one. So shows until next Wednesday, for example, more snow in the southern Rockies there, parts of Wyoming, Washington, shows a lot of widespread snowfall throughout British Columbia and Alberta. So like where is this one? Centimeters, so 74 centimeters, 66, heavier in the mountains of British Columbia. There are some periods of heavier snow there. All central northern British Columbia might get some snowflakes. So like 7 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 14 centimeters. So be aware. Alberta, some light snow northern Alberta, heavier in the mountains. Does show some snow in Saskatchewan, parts of Manitoba, but it's just one model run. This forecast might change, but show like some 11 centimeters in parts of Ontario, even some snow central to northern Quebec there. So be aware, more in Nunavut, a lot of snow like in the Arctic areas there. Not a lot, but yeah, snow, and shows more northwestern territories, parts of Yukon and Alaska there. Their big system, but it's more than 99 centimeters of snow. This will be not like some 38 inches of snow. Some areas there, some 37 inches. So yeah, a big system there. There might be winter storm warning soon, parts of Alaska. So be aware. So there's that system there. That cold front from Russia shows that snow in Alaska. Mars will actually Monday the 21st is the day that the heaviest stuff comes in. Shows a lot of rain and snow throughout western central Alaska, more snow there, and heavier in southern Alaska next Tuesday to next Wednesday, and more lingering snow for parts of Alaska and northern western Canada during that time period. And we'll potentially have that system near like The show like in British Columbia, that snow in Alberta goes into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, potentially some rain storms near like Minnesota and southern Ontario, and some snow in Ontario behind it there, and then potentially there's some rain and snow into eastern Canada there, some rain to the northeastern US later next week. It's showing a bigger system there. Also showing some more systems on the west coast after next Friday, but that's like a week out, so we don't know yet. But the GFS shows a similar thing. The system British Columbia, some lingering snow parts of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, into Ontario there, that system, and Eastern Canada too. So it shows that there, shows more system next weekend, northwestern US and western Canada. It shows that system in Alaska there is some heavier snow and rainfall. So be aware. The winds might be pretty big in Alaska too, more than 48 mph gusts, parts of western Alaska. So there's the initial cold front, shows some very strong gusts like Sunday night, more than 47 mile per hour gusts, some 55 or 56 mph gusts, parts of western Alaska. So be careful if you're there. The bumpy seas as well, shows some gusty winds there. And then later, like next Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe some strong winds near Yukon, Northwestern Territories, and Nunavut. And next Wednesday, like, show some more gusty winds near the Aleutian Islands, and maybe some more stuff from Russia later next weekend and the other week. So we'll monitor that. There's the European too, showing the system stronger next Monday. Shows some specific spots in Alaska, more than 66 mph gusts and 57 mph gusts, big portion of western Alaska there. So be aware of those gusty winds. They'll show you like today those strong winds in Montana there, those very gusty winds into southern Alberta, and continues like in the mountains of British Columbia, more gusty winds like here. So show some 94 km/h gusts sometimes. Parts of southern British Columbia will get some gusty winds, especially in the mountains. So be aware of southern British Columbia. And Saturday, still some strong winds in Montana, parts of southern Alberta. So be aware for those areas. Show another round of gusty winds as a new system comes to like Washington on Sunday. Some more gusty winds there into southern British Columbia. Some gusty winds too, and Alberta there again, northern Montana. So be aware. Potentially the system crossing like, let's see, Saskatchewan, Ontario, maybe some gusty winds northern Quebec later next week in eastern Canada. So be careful in all of those areas. Let's just check the snowfall again with like some other models. The GFS is a lot in Alaska too, parts of British Columbia and Alberta. It has this system crossing like central Canada, going all the way into Quebec with snow, thus having the Southern Rockies there. And the icon, the icon shows more the Rockies and the system like until next Wednesday, cross like central Canada there, more snow through British Columbia, Nunavut, and heavier in Alaska there. So be aware in all of those areas. The temperatures are still very cold in parts of Canada, some -10 in Yukon, -15 Celsius, parts of Northwestern Territories. So be aware there. And let's say this is Friday, shows like Saturday the 19th, almost -20 Celsius, but -23. Let's see, so some very cold temperatures. Stay warm if you are there, even during the day, because it doesn't really warm up. Sometimes it warms up in the afternoon, like a tiny bit, from -20 to -15, but it doesn't really warm up much. So please stay warm there. Alaska, so like very negative temperatures in Fahrenheit would be so negative Fahrenheit too. Show like some -21 there across Northwestern Territories, -8, but -6 parts of British Columbia there. So let's see, this comes and shows many northern parts of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba under negative temperatures. Northern British Columbia, very low temperatures. Kind of warms up in the afternoon, so 14 degrees in southern Saskatchewan, but generally shows this very negative temperatures at night. This next Tuesday show all the way central Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, some very cold temperatures. Northwestern Territories and Nunavut, -12, -8, -11. So very cold. Even Quebec showing like some -1, Labrador -3, -4. So yeah, Parts of New Brunswick, northern New Brunswick, so 0, 1, 4 degrees. And there's the risk of frost in all those areas. It's such a like colder wind chills. So be aware. Later next Wednesday, this cold digs down all the way to the northern US, bring like some -4 into Saskatchewan, -6, -5 in Manitoba, -1, Alberta, British Columbia, -5, -4. So very cold in those areas. Shows a relief part to southeastern Canada, some 22 degrees next Wednesday ahead of that system. So yeah, be aware in those areas and kind of yeah, stay safe.